welcome back to my channel. Today I have a special guest. It's actually my cousin, Mikey. He has his own YouTube channel. Shout out your channel.
Mike Mills, or type in Merchant Marine Mike Mills. That's the best way.
That's usually the quickest way to find me. Like for me, it's vending. Let's jazz it up. You'll find me. So I have him up here because I'm filming another, not side hustle video, because this is like
a full-blown
career video, but it's really easy.
Yeah, easy
to get into. And I'm just gonna go ahead and straight up ask, what's the most money that you can make in this career?
The most money, period? I was like, it depends. It's one of those, it depends on position. Entry level. You can make like 100K, 100, 110.
Love it up.
You could probably make like 110, 115. It's not easy. You could be working to get that, but that's the most you could probably make.
So the reason why I wanted him to have him up here is because he does have a really cool type of job that is relatively easy to get into. Anybody can really do it as long as you don't have any disabilities. And I've actually talked about his mom a few times on my channel. She is a loan signing agent. She is the one that got my mom into it and then got me into it. And she's also a property manager and she's also a real estate agent. So what better way to kind of segue into that than to have her son up here?
Kind of like what she touched on. I own a couple properties and pretty much that's, and YouTube, that's pretty much it. And YouTube
owns his own properties with the money that he got from the job we're talking about today. And then of course does the job that we're talking about today. So everybody in our family basically has some kind of hands in real estate.
Almost all of our family actually.
Except for my brother, well actually both my brothers.
Yeah.
And Kendall, our cousin. So we're working on the last three of the grandkids. Cousins to like, come on, what are you waiting for?
Hop on it.
All right, so let's get into it. So what Mikey does is he's in the MSC. I was actually going to be in the MSC when I was like 19 years old. Yeah. And I was talking to his dad trying to get into it. I ended up going to college instead, and Mikey ended up doing the actual MSC path. So Mikey, what is the MSC?
MSC is the actual company, but Merchant Marine is the actual job title. So being a Merchant Marine is pretty much you go out on a ship and you're just working on a ship, like going overseas in the middle of the ocean, making sure the ship is good to go. And depending on the different positions, because there's like dozens of different positions, but depending on the position determines how much you'll make and all that stuff. But it's fun. You travel a lot.
And it's not correlated with the Navy.
My company actually is correlated with the Navy, but it's kind of like, we're not so much Navy. We work for the Navy out as contractors. Is that, I guess, the best way to put it, yeah.
So making your own money, but you don't do a 1099. You actually get a W-2.
I get a W-2 because we technically work for DOD, like for my company in general. But as a Merchant Marine, like the whole cuff of it, you can end up working for different private companies like Exxon or, I don't know, I think it was Maersk, there you go.
Maersk. Which is funny. My mom works for Maersk when I was young. So we're in Norfolk, Virginia, or we're in Virginia, which is the biggest shipbuilding and Navy area. So we have a lot of these options to do these things, but you can't apply and go course and stuff in America. So what do you do? What did you start out doing when you first got hired with the MSC or Merchant Marine?
With the MSC, when I first got hired, I came in as a steward or a supply utility. It would be called a supply utility with my specific company, and I just
stock shelves.
Pretty much, I just clean stuff I wash dishes most of the time. But there are different positions, like different departments. So you have like, for entry level, so you have the deck department, and you'll come in as an OS. You have engine department, you'll come in as a wiper. You have the supply department or steward department, you'll come in as my position, the supply utility. And then you have the comms department. There's not really entry level comms because you need to have some kind of training, but technically the entry level position is a RET or radio operator. And Those are those are usually the entry level positions. But each of them, there's a potential to make a lot of money.
How much did you make starting out when you first went out, I guess? What was your first?
My first ship, that was 2015. For the year, I think I made probably like 60 grand.
60 grand.
For the year.
How long were you on that ship for?
Like 10 months though.
That's a long time.
So but it was cool though because we was in Japan, Korea. It was my first time going overseas, period. And then we went everywhere then. Australia, Guam.
So did you get off the ship at all of those ports to have fun?
Every single one. Yeah, that's the cool thing about MSC with the specific company that I work for, when they go in a port, usually, as long as it's not a working port, usually you go in and you get to have fun. They don't really try to make you work the whole time, but you usually get to go in, and if you're there for a extended amount of time, they know you're going out to have some fun, explore the city, get drunk, do whatever you plan on doing. You know?
How is it different from Navy stuff then? Like if a Navy ship is in port, how is it different from merchant marines?
From what I've gathered from doing this for however long I've been doing it, since we do work directly for the Navy, we just kind of have more freedom. We don't really have a curfew.
You're just a civilian that follows around, I guess, ships, and you be in the same port as them.
Yeah.
So it's more fun.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, but.
How many hours do you work on the ship when you're on the ship? And.
So my day starts at 5:30 and it ends at like 6:30 at night. So 5:30. It's not bad. It's like 12, 13 hours.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I said at night. Yeah. But my position, like different positions, different things. And with mine, there's a lot of breaks in between. So it doesn't really feel like, hey, I'm working 12, 13 hours. But it is every day though. You don't get days off unless you specifically take a day off. Like let's say we've been out to sea for a couple of weeks. We go in port and you'd be like, hey, I want to take a day off. But other than that, there's no days off up until you get off the ship. But that's why I take like 2, 3, 4 months off. 4 months you're obligated to be on the ship. Anything after that, that's your time off.
But you're not getting paid.
But you're not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're someone like me and I just take off whenever. You know what I'm saying?
How much would you get paid for 4 months on the ship?
Depends on your position.
Have you done 4 months before?
Yeah.
How much did you get?
For me, let me see. So give or take
32,000
to 40. Yeah,
in 4 months. Yeah. So what are the credentials to get in?
You got to go to United States Coast Guard .gov or something like that, and then you just got to put in merchant marine or a merchant marine document, and you just type it in Google, and then it'll show all the credentials you need. You need your merchant mariner document. You need your medical certificate. I'm actually doing all this right now.
Yeah, he's reapplying because he's been off for a while.
Yeah, and then you got to get your TWIC card, which I wish I brought this stuff. I didn't think about it.
It looks like a military card if you're trying to get on the base.
Card? Oh, yeah.
Because I had one.
Your TWIC card, and then what else is it? And you get your passport.
So where is training and how long is training?
For my company, military training is now in, I think, was Fort Eustis? What's the area?
Here?
Houston. Yeah, Houston. Yeah, now it's here.
I could be lying. Is it really here?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, shoot. That's like one exit down from me.
It's really not far if you live in the general. It used to be in New Jersey, though. The whole training center, everything used to be in New Jersey. Earl, New Jersey. So that's where I used to do it.
Oh, that's cool. It's literally down the street from me.
Yeah.
And how long is training?
Depending on your position and what you're going for. But if you're entry level, it is 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, so maybe about a month. So
and it's like 8 hours of class time, right?
Yeah, pretty much. You're in class
for like time.
I think it's about 2.5 weeks. Yeah, 2.5 weeks. The first week, let's say you come in with MSC, your first week is orientation, and that'll be in Norfolk, on the base in Norfolk, Norfolk, Virginia. And then after that, they'll send you to, well, I guess not Jersey anymore, Fort Eustis to do the rest of the training,
which is in Newport News, Virginia.
And then you'll do like a couple weeks of fire training. So like you putting on the fire suit and stuff like that, so you can, because you're the fireman for the ship. Like no matter what, you're the fireman, you're the damage control, you're everything. So you do all of that classes, and that usually takes about 3 weeks.
What's the most money you've made? I think I already asked
You did ask this. The most money I ever made for the year, Gross or like net? I was just
Gross.
gross. Just from the ship itself. Let me do 96, like almost 100 grand.
Almost 100 grand. What did you do with that money?
I bought him the house. Yeah.
And he put it up as a rental property.
As a rental property, yeah.
So what's the least amount of money you've made?
This is the last ship. I think
Okay, he lost money because he was playing around too much.
No, I mean, but even then, like gross wise, this was a lower paying ship than I normally am on. So that was the least amount of money I made in years. I think probably like 20 grand.
20 grand was the least amount he made, and that was for 4 months.
That's gross, though. That's gross.
So what has been your 5 favorite places you visited and actually got off the ship and had fun?
Best places? Okay, my favorite places is Greece. This is what is it? Or Suda Bay. That's what they're gonna call it. Like if you do join MSC or whatever company, they're gonna call it Suda Bay, Greece. And then Rome, Italy was top tier. Australia, boy, Australia is fun. And then I mean, Japan's okay. Like Thailand was nice. Thailand was actually really nice. But you know, you don't know, but Europe is my place. Croatia, that was top tier, number 1. Croatia's I mean, for partying, Croatia was number 1.
He also said that there's really no limit on age. So if you're 30, if you're 40, you can get into this. He was just like probably not retirement age though.
Yeah.
So 18 and up, you guys can apply no matter what you've previously done. You can get into entry level. So the last burning question is, how long did it take you to get into this position after applying?
Okay, so I get this question a lot, and with MSC from my company, it takes anywhere from like 2 to 3 months to like a year. It really depends. Let's say you apply in June, you may hear something from them like, okay, you applied, then they said you got to do the drug test or the interview, then a drug test, and then you may not hear anything for them for like 3 to 6 months. And if there's anything wrong with your background check, you may not hear anything for like a year.
Any like domestic violence, felonies,
stuff like that. Yeah.
Gun possession of guns and stuff.
You can possess guns, but illegally.
Illegally, even like drugs.
Well, yeah, if you have a drug offense, it's very unlikely you're gonna. Because if you have a drug offense, you're more likely not going to be able to get the your merchant mariner document. You know what I'm saying? If you can get the merchant mariner document and everything else, then you should be good. But the company's still going to do a background check. And if you're an older gentleman, those are the ones that usually takes a little bit longer because you have such a longer background than like when I joined. I was only 23. I didn't have 22, 23. I had like 3 jobs prior to that, so that was easy for them to just do a quick background and then hey, you're good to go. But there was another couple of people. It took them a long time because they came in like they starting their whole career over. So they came in a lot older. They was like pushing 40 something. Like,
pushing 40, so it can happen, but they got in.
Yeah, they got in, yeah, for sure.
Misdemeanors. I think it was just felony, but certain types of misdemeanors disqualified you?
I think anything that had to do with like theft and anything drugs.
What about child support?
Oh, yes. If you're delinquent in child support, they want you to take care of that before, or at least have a payment plan set up before you can get the job. I don't know how like SIU does it or any of the other companies, but I know with MSC, you have to have things like pretty much squared away. You can't really be delinquent in like child support and stuff like that. So obviously this only pertains to men.
Anyway, check out his channel. If you want to do my mentorship, which is on glamping, short-term rentals, or side hustles, you can check out mine. Or if you feel a little bit more connected to what Mikey is doing, then check out his channel, talk to him, because he has, I feel, a really cool life journey that maybe other people would be interested in. So thanks for watching, guys. Give it a like, comment down below if you've ever heard of MSC, if you've ever heard of being on a ship this long that's not a part of the military. And until next time, guys, bye.